Saints going all the way, Saints going all the way. Kumbaya, that's the Who That Nation. Game on the line, you can bet we take them. Go black and gold, black and gold. Don't stop, boy, we trying to win the Super Bowl. We rock and roll, rock and roll. Touchdown, go Saints, we gonna do it some more. We rock and roll, rock and roll. Touchdown, go Saints, now give me some more. Now, who that, who that, holla, who that, who that, holla, who that, who that, holla, who that, who that, who that, who that, who that nation. Black and gold, black, black and gold. Oh yeah. Fast up. Black and gold, black and gold, black, black. Who that, who that? They ain't ready, they ain't ready, they ain't ready for us. They ain't ready, they ain't ready, they ain't ready for us. They ain't ready, they ain't ready, they ain't ready for the black and gold, black, black. Who that, who that? They ain't ready, they ain't ready, they ain't ready. What up? They ain't ready, they ain't ready, they ain't ready. What up? They ain't ready, they ain't ready, they ain't ready for the black and gold, black, black and gold. Game time, baby, and I go for the Saints.
Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast.
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. There's all dog around this mug. I'm good.
Hey, what's going on, Who That Nation? It is yours truly, Timothy J. Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. Well, Who That Nation, they didn't believe in us. They didn't think that the Saints were capable of going into AT&T Stadium. They didn't think the Saints were capable of going up against a team that has won 12 games in the last 3 years, each of the last 3 years. They didn't believe that a team like the Saints can go into AT&T Stadium, a place where the Dallas Cowboys have won 16 straight home games, averaging about 30 some odd points, if I'm not mistaken. They did not think that the New Orleans Saints had a chance. You look at some of these prognosticators, these talking heads, nobody picked the New Orleans Saints. Everybody thought that this was going to be a beating. In the words of Malcolm X, they thought the chickens was going to come home to roost. They said that the Saints played against Carolina Technical College, the Carolina Panther Elementary School, Carolina Panther Middle, Carolina Panther High. That's all we heard all week long. Them Falcon fans who got a dose of reality last week were trying to tell us all on social media, especially me on the NFC South Roundtable, y'all about to get y'alls. Y'all about to see that it ain't like that. Shouts out to my guy Bucko's Locker, but I'm about to get on you too, bruh. You was one of them dudes that said that the New Orleans Saints, y'all getting all happy that y'all played against a high school team. Well, guess what, homie? You cannot say that anymore. Guess what, haters? You can't say that the New Orleans Saints didn't play anybody of any significance. They went into hostile territory, and it completely took the Dallas Cowboy fans out of this game. From the time that the Dallas Cowboy fans sat in their seats, they had very little to cheer about. If they did cheer on third down, it was probably quiet on that 3rd and 2 when Alvin Kamara ran right through them. The Saints did exactly what they wanted to do to the Dallas Cowboys. There was nothing that the Dallas Cowboys can do to neutralize this offense. And yet again, I don't even know how good the Saints punter is over the last 2 games. We've seen Jake Haener for 2 weeks. We've seen Jake Haener for 2 weeks, and not in a bad way. He's finishing up the game. Jake Haener has been in the game for 2 weeks. The punter has not been seen until the 4th quarter in the last 2 weeks. There's not an NFC South fan of other teams can tell me a doggone thing, because all of them, including my fine folks at BETUS, had the Saints at the bottom of the division. Oh, y'all about to hear me talk. Because I want to hear from them Atlanta Falcon fans that was in the chat last week. I want to hear from y'all now. I want to hear y'all come in here and talk about, oh, well, y'all played a... No, we played a team that several individuals have been the team to represent the NFC in a freaking Super Bowl. And miss me with that stuff about, oh, the Dallas Cowboys weren't as good. We seen that, it wasn't really impressive against the Cleveland Browns. I guarantee you. I don't know who the Cowboys play next week, but I guarantee you they ain't gonna score 19 points. I guarantee you they're gonna be able to run the football. I guarantee you they're gonna be able to do some of the things that they wanted to do against the New Orleans Saints in this game. They're going to do that in the next game. But that just shows you right there that these people don't know what the hell they're talking about. And I said it, and I'm gonna beat myself on the chest and give myself a pat on the back because I said it on the prediction show. I said the Saints were going to win this football game. Now, I thought the game was going to be closer because I had a little bit more respect for the Cowboys. Obviously, I don't think anybody envisioned that the Saints would look like this and beat down the Cowboys the way that they did. But I picked the New Orleans Saints to win this football game, and people just thought that I was being a homer. There's one thing about me that you're going to learn, Who Dat Nation. If I really honestly feel that the Saints are going to lose a football game, I am going to say it. I never let my emotions just cloud my judgment of what this team can actually be. I said it earlier in the week, and I'm going to say it here today. The New Orleans Saints matched up really well against the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys, to me, they kind of remind me of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the Saints, they have a lot of talent, on the offensive side of the ball, just like Tampa. I'm talking Dallas. Dallas has really good talent on the offensive side of football across the board, just like Tampa does. But the Saints match up really well against them. And I thought the Saints had a really good chance in this game. And people just kind of, your boy. But as y'all can see, your boy know what the hell he's talking about. The New Orleans Saints put foots in the Dallas Cowboys. This game wasn't even close. And for the exception of a little bit of a busted play between Paulson Adebo and Tyrann Mathieu, the Dallas Cowboys did virtually nothing. They were dinking and dunking it or deaking and dacking it down the field all game long. Aubrey was the player of the game, kicking field goals back to back to back to back. One busted play. The Dallas Cowboys couldn't sniff the end zone. They couldn't sniff it. Honestly, they shouldn't even have had that field goal. It should have been 44-16. Because if Chase Young would have just fell on a football, then that would have gave the Saints another chance to come on and drive on down the field. And it didn't matter what the Dallas Cowboys did in this game, Who Dat Nation. It didn't matter. If they go down there and they kick a field goal, they're like, whoo, boy, yeah, man, we got it, man. Look, man, let's just settle down. The Saints get the ball right back. And what did they do? They put together a 13-play, 70-yard drive, took off 7 minutes and 45 seconds off the clock, just completely took the air out of the building. For any chance that Dallas Cowboy fans thought that Dak Prescott would do his famous garbage man impression, his famous Red Fox impression, for anybody that thought that, the Saints just nipped that in the bud real quick. The Saints defense was physical. The Saints defense, them dudes was out there hitting. You didn't really see missed tackles. The Saints played pretty flawless in this game. I said it. The Saints had to play virtually flawless in this game if they were going to win. Offensively, they looked virtually flawless in this game. You look at, the defensive side of the football. They did some things, right? They gave up some plays, but they didn't give up the plays, right? The plays that gave the Dallas Cowboys a chance, gave them hope that they can actually turn this thing around. This was a masterclass. Clint Kubiak deserves three game balls for this performance. I mean, he made Mike Zimmer look dazed and confused. It looked like Mike Zimmer was about to cry on the sidelines. It looked like his eyes was welling up. This is a man in Mike Zimmer who is one of the most well-respected defensive minds in football. This is a guy who has, throughout the years, has really had the number of the New Orleans Saints. Like defensively, he is able to try to neutralize, Drew Brees to a point where he has not been a factor in games, and the Saints had to do other things in order for them to even win the football game. And he went out there and he made Mike Zimmer look like, made him look like this was his first time, made him look like he was kind of Stallions out there coaching or something, right? For those that don't know, kind of Stallions, the one that was, doing the signs and all that kind of stuff. He became a head coach, first head coaching performance or debut. He lost 6-0. All right. So I just want to let that be known. But anyway, made that boy look like he didn't even belong on the field with him. Clint Kubiak, this dude keep coaching like this, they're going to put a statue outside the Superdome. They're going to put a statue outside the Superdome. And I'll tell you what, man, the Saints going to have to take advantage of this, because I know y'all may not want to hear this, but if he's coaching like this, he will not be an offensive coordinator for long. He will not be an offensive coordinator for long, Who Dat Nation. So hopefully the Saints can be able to capitalize on this, because I'm pretty sure this dude going to get a phone call and a few interviews next year, for a head coaching job. So they better strike while the iron is hot right here, because this dude is on another level right now when it comes to like calling games. I'm like in awe. Like we all just kind of sit out like, man, we just hope our team just does great. I just hope that the Saints just go out there and win and perform well, give us something to cheer about. And this dude is like in his bag. Like I'm talking about this dude got a Santa Claus sack. He is in his bag. These defenses are dazed and confused. Like they don't know what the heck to do with the Saints offense right now. And it's amazing to see, man. Shouts out to Clint Kubiak. This guy definitely has been a godsend for the New Orleans Saints. I mentioned on Bleacher Report, and I encourage you all to check that out. I just did a post game on Bleacher Report. I'm going to put that link down in there so you all can check it out. This guy is to Dennis Allen, which Greg Williams was to Sean Payton. That's what it's looking like. How Sean Payton was able to put together all those masterful offensive performances, but the defense couldn't stop traffic and with a stop sign, couldn't stop a cab in New York City. So all of a sudden he goes out and he gets Greg Williams. He takes $250,000 of his own salary to try to go and get Greg Williams. And Greg Williams did enough in order for the defense to look formidable. And Sean Payton was doing his thing with Drew Brees, and they were able to win a lot of games, including a championship. This could be DA's Greg Williams and Clint Kubiak. This seems like a really good combination. And one thing that I did like about the New Orleans Saints is the defense, they didn't put together like one of their greatest performances ever, but the offense was so good that the defense was able to kind of go through the motions, deal with some of the mistakes. Now, if this was a Pete Carmichael offense, we all know that this defense would have had to play virtually flawless. Like you look at Dak Prescott's like stats in the first half, they look pretty good. He was able to convert on third downs. He was able to get the ball down the field. But, so the defense, they were kind of bending but not breaking. But can you imagine if the offense didn't look the way that it did? Can you imagine? So the defense, and I'm pretty sure they feel like this is a breath of fresh air. We don't have to be perfect every week. We ain't got to go out here and be afraid to, mess up a play or, miss coverage or miss a tackle, because now we got an offense that can actually complement us. So if we can't get these guys off the field and it just so happens that they score, we know our offense can come back out here and put up points as well. So as far as I'm concerned, this is a really good compliment. I don't expect for the defense to give up as much as they did in this game. I expect for them to be dominant in more games than they're not. And if you can combine this offense and this type of offense, like the offense we've seen over the last couple of weeks, I want people to understand this. All right. The Saints have put up 40 points in their last 3 regular season games, dating back to the final game of the season. They put up 48 points versus the Falcons, the last game of the season. Then they put up 47 points against Carolina, and they put up 44 points again against the Dallas Cowboys. So the New Orleans Saints are you got to say it. They got the best offensive football right now, and there's nobody that's stopping them. There's nobody out there that stopped this team. And for them to do it against the Dallas Cowboys, it just shows you. It just shows you who that nation. It just shows you that this team is for real. And I'm pretty sure you got a lot of fans of other, fan bases that got to play this team. They're going to be taking the New Orleans Saints serious. So all I'm saying is, like, this team is for real. Like, this team is for real. If they can win the battle of attrition, if they can go out there and put forth these type of performances, they ain't got to put up 40 points a game every game, yo. They ain't got to do that. And I'm pretty sure as the season goes along, teams are going to get more film and they're going to be able to neutralize some of the things that the Saints do well. But if you can go out there and put together this type of performance in the running game, and honestly, I'm looking forward to seeing, in a couple of weeks, Kendre Miller be added to this running back room. I mean, you can see Jamal Williams running the ball. Like, he's effective. Alvin Kamara, I mean, like I said this. I said that Alvin Kamara going to be flirting with Offensive Player of the Year. I said it, and I stand by it. I've been telling people, ain't nothing wrong with Alvin Kamara. This offense of Pete Carmichael let this dude down. And as y'all can see right now, Alvin Kamara in this new offense, led by Clint Kubiak. Y'all see what he's doing right now. Like, the dude is playing some of the best football of his freaking career. So I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Dylan says the only person who chose the Saints to win was Kay Adams. Everyone else, you can forget them. We keep receipts. Well, I did too. I'm gonna throw that out there. I did too. Thank you for the $5. Says Saints got all of us with the Colgate smile right now. It's only week 2, but I am impressed. I don't think the Cowboys or the Saints expected that one. Look, man, it's only week 2, but this was impressive. Now, nobody expected this team to win this football game, David. Nobody expected this team to look as formidable and as impressive as they did in this game. Of course, everybody's going to be excited. No, like, there is nothing a fan base or anything a critic can say to basically justify what's been going on over the last 2 weeks. Like, they can't say, oh, the Saints just played Carolina, because, I mean, come on, man. Like, Carolina is terrible. Don't get me wrong. Bryce Young looks awful. But what can you say about a team that put up 33 points last week, offense, defense, and special teams? Last week, their defense put up 6 sacks. They had an interception. They returned a punt for a touchdown. Like, Dak Prescott didn't set the world on fire, but they were able to run the football effectively, throw the football down the field in necessary moments. They played with relatively short fields because of the defense. So what can you say now? This wasn't like you're going up against, I don't know, just an inferior football team as they tried to make Carolina out to be. This was a really good football team in the Dallas Cowboys, with the Saints, showed like, man, we here. This, like, the Dallas Cowboys next week. Let me see who the Dallas Cowboys play. Let me look at their schedule. So, well, they going to be a little rough for them next week too. But they get that game at home versus the Baltimore Ravens, right? But I expect for the Dallas Cowboys to look better in that game versus the Baltimore Ravens. But I want to say that the State of Saints podcast is powered by BETUS. You sign up today, get up to 150% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits, up to $2,000, man. So I'm pretty sure that they probably had some people that, took the Saints, and said that the Saints were, going to win the football game. And guess what? They made a lot of money. The Saints were +6 in this game. They were supposed to be, 6-point underdogs. So guess what? You picked the New Orleans Saints. Guess what? You got yourself some bread. And thank you to the fine folks at BETUS. Like I said, sign up today, get up to 150% on your first 3 deposits, up to $2,000. All you have to do is use the promo code YouTube150. That's YouTube150. David, also, thank you very much for the $5 donation. Lil Bro, Louisiana Land, the SmackDown on Bro, Big Texas, and Jerry World even. Who that? Yeah, man, them Cowboy fans were looking like they looked exacerbated out there. I mean, them boys were hurt. Hurt. But let me go ahead and read some of these comments, and I'll open up the phone line, see what some of you have to say about the game. Red Swarm says, TJ, please pass me a plate of crow. I'm ready to eat my serving. Well, Red, thank you very much, man, for being here, not hiding out in the bushes like some of your other fellow Falcon fans out there. You came up in here, you talk your noise, you came back, and and I'm pretty sure, look, there's going to be a time when I'm going to be eating crow this season too when it comes to the Falcons. I'm pretty sure it will be. But, I appreciate you stopping by. I noticed that, some of the people that, was on NFC South Roundtable that was bookmarking and retweeting some of the things that I'm saying, I noticed that I ain't seen them show up, okay? They was talking a lot of noise. I just want to know where they at. I just want to know. And somebody put an APB out for them. Somebody put an APB out for them because I don't see them. I don't see them. That's why, man, you got to let these games play out. You got to let these games play out, Who Dat Nation. You can't be sitting up there beating on your chest and looking at the depth chart and say, we got this, we got that. It don't always pan out the way that you think. It don't always end up being the way that you think. So, you gotta be humble and you gotta let these things play out. Bruce Saint, thank you very much for the $10. Says you already know media will talk more about the Dallas sucking than Nola playing elite, but that's okay. I want the Saints to show them who's boss every week. Yeah, that's what they're going to do. They're going to go out there. They're going to talk about what the Cowboys didn't do more so than what the Saints did to the Cowboys, and I feel like it's sad, but I'm okay with that, man. Keep that same energy, man. I hope they stay focused on the task at hand. I hope they go into week 3 the same way they went it from week 1 to week 2. Nobody was cheering. Nobody was sitting up there beating themselves, on the chest, patting themselves on the back. Them guys had a lunch pail mentality going into AT&T Stadium. So hopefully they can have that same workman-like mentality going into the Superdome next week versus the Eagles. Who dat, we dat, prayers for Taysom. Here's to hoping he is okay. Well, he got that chest injury, man. So I don't know if you leaving a game, that got to be something that's dealing with the pectoral. Sean going to be fighting his players on the sidelines. KC might be the toughest defense who can compete. The Fuaga pick was a home run. Yeah, man, Fuaga is otherworldly good right now. I mean, he was out there making them guys look like, small children. Like I said, man, we recognize the tribal chief over here, man. Put them ones up for the tribal chief. The Saint tribal chief, Tallahassee Fuaga, man. Put them ones in the chat for Tallahassee. Put them ones in the chat for him, man. Because the guy deserves it. He comes in having deal with that back injury all week long. We didn't know he was going to play. Goes out there still putting in work with a bad back. Wendell, thank you very much for the $1.99. Shouts out to you. Thank you for that. Barbara says, give me my crow too. Yeah, look, I think a lot of people, didn't really expect for the New Orleans Saints to win. So I'm gonna let some people slide on that. Yeah, I'm gonna let people slide. I mean, nobody expected this. Nobody expected the New Orleans Saints to look as good as they did. I know I didn't. I expected them to win, but I didn't expect for them to look the way they did when they won. But let's go ahead and open up the phone lines, man. Thank y'all so much for being here. Take a few phone calls. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have a lot of things to say. Y'all done heard enough from me. But in the meantime, while we getting it filled up there, let's go ahead and look at some of the box score stats here. Derek Carr, 11 of 16, 243 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Alvin Kamara, 20 carries for 150 yards and 3 touchdowns. Like I said, man, when the last time you seen Alvin Kamara have 20 carries? Like normally it's like 10 carries and 10 catches. But this guy was like all over the field. He averaged 5.8 yards. That last touchdown that he scored, when he was like in a pile full of folks and he just scoots out of there, like that was that was throwback Alvin right there. Like when you just think you have him down and then all of a sudden he just reemerges like out of nowhere and scores a touchdown. I mean, he's back to being who we are known and accustomed to seeing him be. Like he's having fun out there. And it's amazing like how easy he makes football look. Like football is a tough sport and AK just makes it look like so easy. Like it's amazing, man. But I tell you what, Mickey, you probably should have just went ahead and paid this dude, But now, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, yesterday's price is not today's price, my friend. So maybe, you should have went ahead and went to negotiations. So now, hey, that money's about to start going up, man. So I don't think that was a smart decision, like having a wait and see approach. You should have thought about, hey, this could be a possibility that maybe the offense didn't do Alvin right instead of y'all just waiting and reserving it. Now, if he goes out and he plays the way that he has, how many touchdowns he has? What you got? How many touchdowns he had last week? Yeah, 1 or 2. I'm going to just say for the sake of argument, he had 6 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. So, bruh, y'all kind of pricing yourself out of this situation. I tell you that. But we're going to go ahead and go to Jordan. Jordan, how you doing, man?
How you doing, TJ?
I'm doing fine, man. Excited about this Saints dominant victory on today, man. What you got to say?
Man, there's a lot to be excited about.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to say something to the Saints fans. So y'all got to realize how good a position the Saints are in right now.
Right.
We know Dallas is going to be there down the line, and we have a tiebreaker over them.
Mm-hmm.
The 49ers lost today against a team that they should have beat. And then next week we got the Eagles, a team that will be there down the line. So we could possibly have 2 tiebreakers within a 3-week period.
Right.
So
yeah.
Shout out to Dennis Allen for having those boys ready to play today, because they went out and played. They were physical. Clint Kubiak schemed Michael Parsons out the game. It was just a clinic, and they just took the Dallas coaches to
the woodshed. Call it what it is. They took it to the woodshed.
And they tore them up.
This was a beating, Jordan. This was an actual beating, man. I ain't never seen I ain't never seen like a team just come in when nobody just picked them to win anything. Like nobody thought the Saints were going to do anything in this game, and then all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, they just come and they just show up, man, and dominate, man. Like a lot of people are going to have to change the way that they look at the New Orleans Saints this season.
Well, the Saints have never been a team where they wanted to talk about on Monday. Even today, it's going to be what the Cowboys didn't do.
Right.
And they're going to be looking for the Saints to fall at some point. Yep. We have a tough 3-week schedule ahead of us where we got Kansas City, the Falcons. We got all those teams, and we're going to be underdogs in there. So it's up to Dennis Allen to get them ready to go with a chip on their shoulders and come out there and game plan to play football. A couple of takeaways from today: the Saints look physical. The offensive line looked physical. We ran the ball. They got the ball in space. I can't say enough about Clint. He looks like the coach of the year. We know if an award is given out, Dennis Allen to get that award. But Clint Kubiak was the difference in the game. I didn't like the last 2 drives by him. I thought he got a little too pretty. The interception by Derek Carr, I don't think we should have been throwing the ball in this situation. But we got to just take the bad with the good. Number 2, Cam Jordan. I love him to death. He's been a Saint. He going to be a Saint for life. But I honestly think he shouldn't be starting right now. I think we need to have more snaps on the field with Granderson and Chase. Because if you notice during the game, a lot of people look at Chase's stats and say, well, he only got half a sack. But at the end of the day, they chipped him every play. They chipped him every single play he was on the field. So we have to get our 2 main pass rushers on the field, because going down the stretch, we're going to have to be able to get these quarterbacks without blitzing. And with Marshall and Lattimore out today, you see we couldn't blitz a lot with Alontae Taylor. Because that just was the game plan. You can't send everybody every week. So our front four is going to have to step up, and we're going to have to make some tough decisions.
Yeah. I look at the fact of, Cam Jordan starting at defensive end. I do agree, but I think that Cam Jordan, his stat line may not indicate it, but he played a huge role in the run game today, spanning on the inside. Now, I get what you're saying. You rather have, Chase Young on one side, Carl Granderson on another. That's more so if they NASCAR package where they have Brian Brzee and Cam Jordan on the inside. But, I mean, they're all getting it. Like they're all getting it. They're all, like, getting pressure on the quarterback. They're all, like, putting their hands in, and, when it comes to stopping a run. So I don't really have no issue with it, you know what I'm saying, altogether. Because I think that Chase Young gets his fair share of snaps out there, and they all take advantage of it. But I do agree with what you're saying, like, towards the end, where you're trying to, like, kind of, run the clock out, trying to get out of there with that win. I wasn't a real big fan of the pass and play. Now, to the credit, to their credit, it should have worked. It should have worked because Derek Carr could have knit a sweat in that pocket. I don't know why he kind of sailed the ball in front of Chris Olave, and he had to kind of lunge at it, and it popped the ball up in the air. So I think with better ball placement right there, then you probably would have converted. But I wasn't a fan because at this particular point, all you're trying to do is just run the clock out and trying to get out of there with a victory. But Jordan, I got to go ahead and go. Got a few more calls I got to get to.
Could I say one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Atlanta Falcons. Hey, this week is a must-win because this could get away from them really fast.
You're right.
With the Buccaneers winning, this could get away from them really, really fast. But thank you, TJ.
Yeah, no problem, Jordan, man. Call back anytime, man.
All right.
Yeah, shouts out to Jordan, man. I mean, yeah, this could easily get away from them really, really quickly. I look at this team, and like I said, I'm very impressed at what I see. You look at, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, to me, man, they're still a team, you know what I'm saying, that, is very, very talented. I mean, like I said, they won the football game against Detroit today. They won 20-16, so they're 2-0. So they're winning football games, just as much as the New Orleans Saints are. They're impressive, just like just like the New Orleans Saints have been. So I mean, this division, just like I said, if every team is improving on the things that they lacked last season, what do you think is going to happen? Like, what do you think is going to happen to the division? It's basically going to be the same way. So I just think that, the New Orleans Saints got to focus on what they can focus on. Like, you can't worry about Tampa. Like, you play Tampa in a couple of weeks. Focus on the next team ahead of you. You got to continue to build this momentum. You got to continue to work. You got to continue to grind. So that's that. Okay. So just control the things that you can and indeed control. We're going to go to Mick. Mick, how you doing, man?
What's going on, good brother?
Man, what's going on, man? Thank you for being here. What you got for us today?
First things first, let me go ahead and get my cold dish of crow to eat. Okay, I got some crow to eat because I've been bagging on Derek Carr the whole offseason.
Right.
So, man, I do want to say in all seriousness, man, I got a lot of crow to eat. Carr looks outstanding in this system. I am still going to say that the system was making a lot of things look completely different. That's not me being no hater or anything like that. That's just kind of the truth. We've seen Alvin Kamara look like, 2017 rookie Alvin Kamara, if not better, over the last 2 weeks. So get that out the way first. But I did say, good brother, and you can look back at your old videos, I said the secret to win is Carr needs to throw 20 times or 25 times or less a game. That this was a team that was designed to run. If you look at what the Saints been kind of building over the last few years with the O-line and kind of what's more of their strengths, it's more of a running style team.
Right.
So, and the beautiful thing is, man, we still haven't even seen Kendre Miller yet. We still have weapons that we haven't seen. We haven't seen us, have a game where we fully use our tight ends. In week one, we've seen it with Juwan Johnson and Moreau, but I'm just saying we still got Hochler. We still got a whole bunch of things that those guys could do there.
Yeah.
The beautiful thing. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, I just look at this football team, and I mean, it's a lot of positive things that are going on here. Like I don't feel like you're out of place, but crediting this system, because I feel like this system is one of the main reasons why the New Orleans Saints are looking as good as they do. And I've said this on several occasions as well. I said, use Derek Carr like one of the stars of the show. Like I used the Seinfeld example when I was like, you had Jerry Seinfeld, who wasn't a strong actor, but he was a comedian. So what do? You put strong actors and actors around him, to try to cover up the thing that he lacks in, which is a strong a theatric performance when you made Seinfeld. That's what you do with Derek Carr. You take Derek Carr, you play to his strengths, which is the play action game. You have him throw the football, into like little spots where your wide receivers and your running backs can make plays. And then the next thing you find yourself successful. You should not be having Derek Carr throwing the ball 30, 35 times a game. And I guarantee you that is like going forward. I guarantee you the secret for every team to try to get an advantage over the New Orleans Saints, it will involve them trying to stop the run of the Saints and making Derek Carr beat them. And if Derek Carr can beat them, then guess what? They're going to be like, man, we can live with that. But, I'm impressed, man. I think that this system makes Derek Carr look good. I think it makes the offensive line look good. And Alvin Kamara, who never was an issue in the first place, I just think that the offense over the last couple of years failed him. He's looking legit. What else you got, Mick?
Man, I got two more points. The one thing I would say to your point, I agree. That's the only way you literally can stop the Saints offense is getting them in for, second and 14s, third and longs.
Right.
But then the beautiful thing is, man, I've never seen anything like this. I've seen it with San Francisco because it's San Francisco's type of offense, but it just looks a little bit different with us.
Right.
The thing is I can't figure out what's a running and what's a passing play because it's majority of the snaps you see Derek Carr under center. And that's a huge difference maker. The only way to actually beat the Saints offense is to force them to have to get into those long down situations, and then you get to Carr. But man, that's going to be hard to do. And then the beautiful thing is, TJ, with our team that's different even from the rest of the NFL, this defense has been getting built almost the last 10 years. So when you have a defense like this that can keep you into the game, you can afford the Saints, even if the Saints was to go down 14-3, you can still run the ball and you can still run your offense because this defense is going to keep you in the game. This
Right.
defense is going to give you a shorter field and be opportunistic,
Yeah.
And the only weakness that I see on this team right now, to the last caller's point, is the defensive line. I've seen snaps where 94. I can't believe I'm blanking on Cam Jordan's name. I'm too excited, man. Cam Jordan, they did move him into the interior a few snaps in this game, but man, the front four, we got to get home a little bit more, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That one play, Mick, where they had Dak Prescott dead to rights. I think Brian Brzee did, and he just dumps it down to Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, that was a 3rd and 12, I think, or something like that, man.
Yeah.
So it just stuff like that, man. Like they get their hands on the quarterback, but man, you got to get that guy down on the ground, man. So hopefully, they can work on that. They were able to get pressure on him later in the game, which is very encouraging. But man, you got to be able to get this dude. You got to be able to get the sacks, man, and get off the field because that kind of stuff right there we've seen on several occasions. It didn't work out today for the Cowboys, but we've seen Dak Prescott put these type of theatrics together and later on in the game, like they down by only 4 points, driving down the field trying to win. So, we know garbage time Dak is pretty dangerous, man, but the New Orleans Saints were able to neutralize them. I'm looking at how they can improve on that defensive line. I'm not really poo-pooing about the secondary. Like I said, Dallas Cowboys, they're a formidable wide receiver group. Like, they formidable, bro. So,
yeah.
All in all, but it's good to know that your defense doesn't have to go out here and, and bat 1,000. And, your offense can complement them even if they are allowing some plays to come into fruition. So I'm excited about that. You say you had one more thing, right?
No, that's, man, the only thing I would say is like to your point, the thing that I've noticed with this Saints team though is that we've always seen that the D line is kind of long and kind of traditional D line. They can stop the run. And we have so many DBs that you can plug anybody, man. You can plug into DA's system. You can plug just about anybody there, and he schemes so well. And we have a plethora of DBs that can go up and challenge anybody. And, man, this game looks like they was hitting harder.
Man.
It's been the Saints defense looked like an AFC cold weather defense team, if the best way I can put it, where we're going to punish you for going up top. And they hitting these boys clean, man. That's the beautiful thing. No penalties, hitting clean. So like I said, as long as that D-line can kind of stop the run and kind of get to Dak when necessary, I'm going to say this. I'm not going to lose my mind and say Super Bowl just yet, even though I want to, TJ. I ain't going to lie. But I will say this. Nobody on this schedule, and I mean nobody, not even Kansas City, scares me. I'm not saying that we're going to go the rest of the year undefeated, But with this defense that can travel, and when you have a running game, and that's important for the playoffs, and when you, no matter where you can go, that's good for traveling. Nobody scares me on the schedule anymore. Not one
Yeah.
team. Not
Yeah.
one team scares me.
Yeah. I mean, I think that you walk away from that game knowing that your team has a chance offensively to be able to go toe to toe with anybody. And then you got your defense that can be able to neutralize some of those teams that really have high powered offenses like the Cowboys. It gives you optimism about teams like the Kansas City Chiefs. So, man, we'll see, man. I mean, it is only the second game of the season, but I think the Saints probably quite a few critics in this game. But Mick, thank you so much, man. Call back anytime, brother.
Man, thank you, man. Always a pleasure. Have a good one. Who that?
All right, who that? Yeah, shouts out to Mick, man. I mean, this was a game that the Saints put the NFL on notice. It's plain and simple. I want to acknowledge some of the donations here. Jacob Fondo says the most exciting thing was everyone was involved on the offensive side of the ball, and the players look excited too. P should have been fired. Yeah, man. I mean, it's pretty obvious right now. It's looking like we know who the culprit is. But to Pete Carmichael's defense, he didn't want the job in the first place. And I will say to the New Orleans Saints, sometimes like if a coach tells you that's not what they want to do, don't force them into doing it. I'm just saying. T. Riley, another great win for the Saints. Who that from Japan, man? Shouts out to you, man. T. Riley, thank you for being here. Appreciate it, man. Konnichiwa and all that there. All right. We're going to move on to Cameron. Cameron, how you doing, man? Cameron, are you there? All right, we're going to slide over. Cameron, feel free to call back in. We're going to go to Chosen. Chosen, how you doing, man?
Yo, what's going on, TJ? Who that nation?
Man, what's going on, Chosen, man? What you thought about the game today?
Man, it was a good game. Once again, man, just like how I was saying last week when we demolished the Panthers, man, it looked like we just having fun again, man. It's like we going back to what we know. We playing for each other. We not getting too in over our heads, man. Look like we being consistent. We getting positive yards. Man, I'm proud of this O-line. We not talking about Trevor Penning right now. Knock on wood. That boy balling. Fuaga balling. The whole line balling, man. We playing discipline. I just really want to touch point, man. Rashid Shaheed, bro. I think it's time we just, and you mentioned it on Twitter, right? When I mentioned it in real life, well, on X. He plays more like a number one than Olave, bro. And there's no knock, but I feel like he plays more like a number one and he embrace it, bro. It's like when I look at those two, bro, it's like his demeanor. And you can see with these play calls, bro, what could have been if we was using this guy, bro. This dude, this is the most I ever seen this man targeted in one game, bro. It goes to show you what we could have had from back when, from the start of that Cincinnati game when he first ran that jet sweep and there was a touchdown. Then that following week he had the touchdown. It's like every week this man give us a 50+ touchdown, bro.
Yep.
And it always starts something beautiful. So I just want to just give Shaheed his just due. I know it kind of got overshadowed by Alvin Kamara performance, but it looked like it was gonna be the Rashid Shaheed show today.
Yep.
But Alvin Kamara was like, nah, youngster, let me show you who I am for real. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
but it was good to see we actually utilizing our playmakers, bro. Like, it just goes to show you one coach could make a difference. Like, game planning and scheming makes a difference, bro. Goes back to what we've been saying. You can have all the talent in the world, bro, but if you don't put these guys in position, it's what it's useless. It's just like you don't have them. And I'm glad to see that we're getting it. Dennis' job, is early. Dennis' job just may have been secured.
Yeah.
Out for 2 weeks. And I'm not mad at that. If you're gonna bring in coaches to help out with that, you don't have to be the guy, Dennis. But if you can bring in the guy to swallow your pride and bring in the guy to get done what you can't get done alone, I'm with that too. Long as you helping the team. You know what I'm saying? So good win. I'm excited, bro. We're gonna enjoy this one. And I just want them to just stay focused, bro. Don't get too high. Treat every game, treat every week, every team like this. Be like, be the underdog every game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Have that underdog mentality every game. And we're gonna go from there, bro. But
Yeah.
that's all I got, teacher. I'll let you rebuttal.
Yeah, man. I was just gonna say, man, I was really impressed. I mean, you have no choice but to be, Clint Kubiak. To me, is doing what Greg Williams did for Sean Payton. It goes back to what I said at the beginning of the show. I think that Dennis Allen is a defensive-minded guy, but I just think that that's his side of the football. And now you have somebody that can kind of head coach and oversee the offensive side of football, and that is doing the right things in order to put your team in a position to be successful. I mean, it's a match made in heaven. And I'm going to continue to say this. If the Saints are on an uptick like this and their offensive performances are going to be looking like this or close to this throughout the season, like this could be a tough situation. So the Saints better strike while the iron is hot, because Clint Kubiak gonna get another head. He's gonna get a head coaching opportunity. Like he's gonna get one. Like if they're playing like this, they putting up these type of numbers, and this offense is looking that unstoppable. I'm telling you, man, like this could be one of those situations where it's like a one and done type situation. So you might want to take advantage of this. You got yourself a really talented defense, and it looks like the offense is trending in the right direction. So, hey, man, I ain't gonna lie to you. This has been a great week for me. LSU, they got the victory over South Carolina. Jackson State put Foots in Southern. Yes, I just said that.
Bro.
It is what it is. Put them Foots in them boys. Now, you know what I'm saying? Now the New Orleans Saints
Jaguars like
putting
that.
Foots
I'm
in
with
them
you.
boys.
I don't too much care about the Southern Jaguars. I always say that high school team. But shout out to Jackson State. Shout out to the swag, man. Shout out to the swag in the whole.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
A couple more points though. Tim. Also, I want to say, bro, I know that helped Dennis Allen sleep good at night, knowing he don't have to worry about that side of the ball. Knowing he don't have to be responsible or worry about somebody. Hey, Dennis, Pete not doing. You know what I'm saying? I know he get the rest and focus on what he focus on, man. Like I know that just got to be a blessing, knowing.
Right.
No, he's straight. No, all I gotta do is peek my head, knock on the door, peek my head in. Hey, Clint, y'all good? Thumbs up. All right, y'all good. You know what I'm saying? That gotta be that. I know that gotta be a good feeling. But all in all, bro, good win. Hope we get another one. And we're just gonna keep on rocking it like that, TJ. And hopefully these guys stay healthy. And Alvin Kamara, bro, it's just looking. It just goes to show you, bro. It's just back to what we like. And the one final thing, TJ. I thought this offense running more wasn't gonna look exciting. I look forward more to the runs than the deep passes. Me personally, it's so beautiful knowing you got a motion and you seeing that line push it, and you got holes and guys they just running in a unit. When you got 3-4 guys blocking for you, that to me that looked more pretty and creative than throwing the ball down the field. To me, I didn't think I was gonna enjoy running as much as I've seen it. I look more forward to the runs than the passes. I don't know about anybody else, but. Bruh. These runs is looking nice, bro.
Mike Zimmer had no answer. Like, I go back and watch the game. It looked like he wanted to cry. Like on the side,
they kept panning to him.
It's like, man, he looked like my grandfather said. He looked about as lost as a baby bird in tall grass, bro. Like for real, he was lost. Like he had no answer. They had no answer. Like that was a master class and offensive efficiency right there, Chosen. No doubt about that, man. But I appreciate the call. Like always, man. It was a pleasure meeting you last week, man, for the opening game. Oh, yes, and I'm excited about this season, man. And thank you for chiming in, man. I look forward to talking to you throughout the season. Hopefully we have good moments like this we can talk about, man. It's been a minute since we've consistently been talking about the offense of the New Orleans Saints in such a gleeful manner. So hopefully this won't be the last time, man. I appreciate the call.
For sure, man. Oh, one more thing. Make sure you text your pops. Hopefully we made him a believer.
Oh, man. He texts me. Let me see. I know he's watching this right now. He texts me and says, I'm optimistic.
Hey, we'll take it.
He gonna go to that game in Philly next week. I mean, out there in New Orleans against Philly. I guarantee you that, though. I tell you.
We'll take it, bro. Optimistic.
Hey. I think you won him over. Man. I think he gonna be saying who that a little loud. I think he gonna go back to losing his voice at games again.
There you go. But all right, brother. Who that?
All right, man. Who that? Hey, man. Look, my dad text me when it was 14-3. He was like, "I'm optimistic." So we got him optimistic, man. So that he's been a season ticket holder for the Saints for 20 years. So we got him back. We're gonna go ahead and finish the phone calls with Cameron. Cameron, how you doing, man? Cameron, are you there?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, Cameron. How you doing?
Listen.
Man.
We're not playing. We're not playing, TJ. We're not playing, man.
I see,
Look,
man. We
I'm
not
gonna
playing
say,
on the field or on the stream now.
no, we're not. No. TJ, all I gotta say is this, man. Hey, first and foremost, man, I appreciate your page, man.
Oh
I've
man,
been
thank you,
following you
man.
for a while, man.
Thank you, man.
You the man, man. I love you. I
Thank
don't
you,
agree
bro.
with you all the time,
Yeah,
but
that's fine.
I just respect what you're doing, man. It's hard to do it. It's hard to get up on the screen and do this every day, man. So first and foremost, I appreciate you.
Man.
But from the Saints perspective and what we did today, I just feel like people just underestimated the Saints because everyone wants to think about the middle of the pack, right?
Mm.
Everybody wants to think about, okay, I don't like being mid. It only takes one thing from taking you from mid to being great.
Right.
People don't understand that. So the whole time I'm saying, okay, look, last year, our downfall was the fact that we didn't have players, but the common sense was not there.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know how to use the players. We had Rashid Shaheed. You only gave him the ball 3 times. You had Taysom Hill. On average, you give him the ball 8 times. Our record was like what, 30-something, like 1 or something. It was outlandish.
Mm-hmm.
But they never did it. It was like the common sense just left the building when it came to the. So what the Saints do? The Saints said, relax, people. We're gonna make the right choice. We're gonna eliminate Carmichael, trash Carmichael. They didn't know when to poop, when to go to the bathroom, didn't know when to do anything. Said, look, we're gonna eliminate Carmichael and we're gonna bring somebody that's gonna utilize the players that we have. That's actually has common sense, right? We got Clint Kubiak, somebody from that tree. I had my skepticism with them, but at the same time, it's like, man, everyone was saying it. If you put AK in the same system as CMC, they have the skill set.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get the same thing. I think Derek Carr is way better than Purdy, way better. So you put that whole system, you get the whole buy-in, you get the whole. I don't know, the whole whatever when it comes to the Saints and how they was able to get everyone to buy into that system.
Yeah.
Once they bought in, you see 47. Now you see 44. It's only going to go up from here, man. It's only going to go up from here. And I want to say this too, because now that we have 2 games on our belt, I still don't think there's not enough film to understand what the Saints are doing. I still don't think, because I think Clint Kubiak has so much in his bag that people don't even really understand. Like, he has so much more. At the end of the game, we were just running. And it was crazy. That I feel like this team, I don't want to say no. I'm not saying we're going to the Super Bowl, but we definitely underestimated. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that, people have no choice but to respect this football team in the direction that they're going in right now, especially like what they've done over the last couple of weeks. The dominant fashion they've done it in on both offensive side and the defensive side of the football. And, I cannot nail this home enough. Pete Carmichael did not want this job, man. And the fact that they forced this dude into this situation, basically, I don't like when a guy tells you he don't want the job, just take his word for it. Like, you had opportunity, kind of.
Come on, man.
Like they spent so much time like trying to make this team like the way that it was and keep it stable. They didn't realize that it was inevitable that they was going to have to make this change anyway. So this change just came, in my opinion, 3 years too late instead of 3 years too early, because you was going to end up doing this in the first place. But I like what I see. I think that all of these guys have bought in. I think that the running game is looking outstanding. I think that Clint Kubiak, to me, is a really good offensive coordinator. And right now, man, he has the New Orleans Saints looking like one of the best teams in NFC, if not the best team in NFC. Like, and if we're talking about based on this season, they are the best team in NFC right now, because nobody has put forth these type of performances like they have over the last 2 games. So, I mean, I know it's early, but I'm just talking about based on what I'm seeing. I have not seen a team in the NFC look as dominant on both sides of the football like the Saints have been over the last couple of weeks. So you got anything else, Cameron?
Nah, man. I'm just happy that people are actually starting to realize it, right?
Yeah.
I definitely see us going 3-0 next week. I'm not afraid of the Philly defense. Philly defense is I think is definitely not as good as Cowboys defense. I think I wasn't even like really scared of Cowboys defense because it's like, okay, you got Marcus Parsons, that's it. You can scheme around that. You can easily scheme around that. But that was it. I mean, Diggs, he plays off and he gets lucky interceptions. Congratulations, buddy. So like, I mean, that's it. So I think we definitely gonna be formidable. Bucks look good too. Bucks look good too.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think people are gonna really regret what they said these past couple of weeks. They're gonna really realize and eat their words, eat crow. So hey, look, man, it's good to be a Saints fan. TJ, appreciate you, man. As always, man. You the man. Keep doing what you're doing. For the Saints Nation, man. Keep representing, man. I appreciate you, man. Love you, brother.
All right, man. Appreciate it, Cam, man. Thank you for the call in, man. Call back anytime, man.
Yes, sir. Who that?
Who that? Yeah, man. Shouts out, man. Shouts out to Cam. Yeah, man. He made some really good points. The offense looks really great. The fact that you actually moving on from Pete Carmichael, bringing somebody in that can do some things a little bit differently. A little bit more offensively innovative. Is a plus. I have been neglecting the comments throughout this show, man. So I'm going to spend the next few minutes of this show catering towards the comments. We will be doing the show tomorrow, so don't worry, man. If you didn't call in today, you definitely can call in tomorrow, man. I'll make sure that I dedicate some time to the chat as well, man. So thank y'all for that. Also, I want to let everybody know that this show is powered by BETUS. Sign up today, get up to 150% sign up bonus on your first 3 deposits, up to $2,000. All you have to do is use the promo code YouTube150. That's YouTube150. Pretty sure quite a few people use BETUS on today, and they got themselves some money if you bet on the Saints to not only win the football game, but also be able to cover, So, so hey, you done got paid, bro. You done got paid. You done got paid, my friend. But 613 people watching this right now. Please hit the like button. If you like the State of Saints podcast, you enjoy the content. Come on, man. We got almost as close to 700 people. So I hope that everybody's hitting the like button. Hope everybody hit the like button. It's great to do these shows, man, but please help the State of Saints podcast grow. Please help us grow by hitting that like button. All right. It don't take nothing but a few seconds to hit that like button. I don't care if you're on Facebook. I don't care if you're on X. I don't care if you're watching this on YouTube. Hit that like button. Hit the like button. But let me go ahead and read some of your comments here. I'm going to stroll back a little bit because I'm pretty sure a lot was said. It says, Chris Olave, this is from Cody, says, Olave had a pretty good game, though. Shaheed is our deep threat, but Olave is our route runner. I think they both are route runners. Cody. And that's a good problem to have there when you got two guys that can run routes really well. But man, look, I still have my reservations about Chris Olave. Like, I think that he's a tough guy. I think that he's definitely emerged at, getting better at those contested catches. That catch that he caught that put the Saints down at the 1. I mean, that was incredible right there. Not too many guys are going to catch that pass. But I just look at Shaheed, man. Shaheed is like on another level right now. And even though he like that down the field threat, look how the Saints used him. He was lined up in the backfield. They had him run on a halfback toss. They had him hitting them drag routes. They had him like cutting, from the left side to the right side of the field. Like, they were utilizing this guy. Like, my goodness, man. Like, Rashid Shaheed, man, this is going to be a tough decision for the New Orleans Saints because you're going to have to pay both of these dudes, man. And both of these guys deserve, like, to be paid pretty handsomely. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Saints are going to deal with that situation because you're going to have to pay Shaheed. You already gave him that extension, which I think that's the reason why the Saints gave him that extension, because they knew they was going to utilize him more in this capacity. And maybe, you get your opportunity, you'll pay Olave, and then, once you pay Olave, then you'll, be able to pay Shaheed. But, man, that dude is something special. They both play like receiver ones. They both do their part and both celebrate with each other first. Yeah, I think, look, they like each other. They friends. They cool. And, man, you don't get that sense of like envy towards, each other. Like when Chris Olave sees Rashid Shaheed going yards and scoring touchdowns, I really feel like he's genuinely happy for him, And you see these guys, like when they like throwing blocks for one another, like the screen pass that Derek Carr threw to Alvin Kamara, the big 57-yard touchdown. Like you can see like the tight ends blocking up the field, and Alvin like just turned around and just gave Foster Moreau like a high five or whatever. Like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like he knew he was gonna score. Like he was running down the field and he seen Foster Moreau like run in front of him, and Alvin kind of threw his hands up like, yeah, like these guys are genuinely happy for one another on both sides. Like if you see the defense out there making plays, you see the offensive players out there just getting excited like they playing on defense. Something that the Saints have been missing for years, folks. This is something that's been missing. Those guys are having fun playing football again. It doesn't seem like a job. It don't seem like work. It don't seem like they have the pressure in the way of the world on their shoulders week after week like they have over the last couple of years. This is a team that trusts the process. This is a team that believes in one another. They believe in the coaches, despite the fact that some of us had our reservations. I'm gonna throw myself in there because y'all know if I'm a dishing, I'm gonna take it. We've been critical of Derek Carr. I've been one of the people very critical of him. We made some very funny content that involved that. When it comes to Dennis Allen, been very critical of him. Made some very creative content with that. If we're going to sit up here and try to bash these dudes when they do bad, we need to have enough. We need to be real enough with ourselves and say that these guys are doing a really great job, an outstanding job, because you got a coach that, and Dennis Allen, everybody's talking about he's going to be the first coach to be fired. You got Derek Carr, who people just feel like he's stealing money. And those guys go into the season proving everybody wrong. So, look, I know it's only 2 games in the season, but I think that, Derek Carr looks outstanding, and Dennis Allen looks like a coach that wants to keep his job. So, like I said, it's early in the season. This is a long season. And we know narratives change as time go on. But from what I'm seeing right now, it seems like you got 2 guys that figured it out. You got a coach in Dennis Allen that understands that he needs a Robin to his Batman. And you see a guy in Derek Carr who the offense is utilizing and just with the strengths that he has, the play action game, putting the ball into the hands of the playmakers on these wide receiver screens, these quick slants, like these little drag routes, these rug routes, like all these different things, these rug routes that they have. So all in all, like I think we have to. We got to get these dudes an apology, man. We got to. If we're going to sit up here and talk about how bad these guys are, we're going to talk about how our teams suck. We're going to talk about our quarterbacks suck. We hopeless, all this type of stuff, then we need to be man and woman enough to call these dudes, call these dudes out and congratulate them when they do great things like what we seen today versus the Dallas Cowboys. Please hit the like button. 622 people right now. No reason why our like shouldn't be up to 300-400 by the end of this show. Lovely, thank you for the 499. Says I'm eating crow. Carr has been in his bag the last 2 weeks. He finally feels like the leader of the team. Yeah, man. Look, I know Wi-Fi Willie about to be nauseating this week. But hey, man, look, he deserves to take his victory lap because when you dedicate an entire channel to Derek Carr, man, bruh, I mean, that's one heck of a statement right there. Pammy said, absolutely, TJ, come out the bushes and say you wrong so far. Look, I'm going to say it. Like, I ain't about to sit up here and hide. I ain't going to sit up here and hide. Like, I did not see this coming. I did have a wait and see approach when it came to the Saints. And I did say, you don't know what this team is going to look like. But I didn't expect this. You know, I expect them to be formidable, but I didn't expect for them to be putting boots to asses like they have over the last couple of weeks. I mean, this has been fun to watch, and it's definitely fun to watch when you do the NFC South Roundtable every week and everybody's telling you to delusional when you get excited about the team and seeing what they're doing. Because y'all know on the NFC South Roundtable this Tuesday, y'all know your boy going to have a lot to say. Y'all know your boy going to have a lot to say, boy. Y'all already know, man. If you follow the NFC South Roundtable, look, y'all might as well pull up a chair, 7 p.m. Eastern, because your boy is about to start handing out receipts like it's the day after Christmas. Y'all know how it go, man. You know, that shirt don't fit, that jacket don't fit. You know what I'm saying? That car ain't the right car that I wanted, not the right color. Y'all know how it go, man. Look, I got receipts that I'm going to be dishing out because all I heard who that nation was, man, when y'all play a real team, when y'all play somebody real, it's coming down. It's going down this week. Everybody was young jock. It's going down. Well, it went down this week. A beat down by the New Orleans Saints, 44-19. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. To all of the haters out there. To all of the haters. Shouts out to Red Swan, was the only one that came into the chat from another team that said he was eating crow. Just like typical Atlanta Falcon fans want to sit up there and talk all that noise, and then when they prove wrong, they want to go missing. Nah, put that same energy that you put on X when I was talking about the Falcons ain't going to be that good and the Saints ain't going to be as bad as y'all think, and y'all were telling me all week long. I know y'all watching this on X right now because your boy good at what he doing. He entertaining. Y'all enjoy the show. Take notes. All I'm saying is where y'all at today. That's all I want to know. Y'all was talking all week about how the Saints didn't play a real team, and y'all thought, oh man, the Cowboys about to show y'all. What did they show us? They showed us a lot about the Saints offense. They showed us that the Saints can snap a 16-game home winning streak by the Cowboys. So where y'all at today? Probably too busy trying to bite your fingers, hoping that your Atlanta Falcons can pull off a upset victory in Philly tomorrow. Because you know if y'all go down 0-2, y'all gonna really hear from your boy. Y'all really gonna hear from him. Y'all hear them narratives now. All now, like right now. So at the beginning of the season, all of them was talking about, what were they saying? Man, we got Justin Simmons, we got Jesse Bates, we got A.J. Terrell. What y'all gonna do? We got Matthew Judon. What y'all gonna do? I sound like Hulk Hogan up in this thing, talking about what you gonna do. What you gonna do? Then all of a sudden they go out there and play against the Pittsburgh Steelers. What was the excuse? What did they say on the NFC South Roundtable? Man, this is the best defensive lineman, and TJ Watt, and ain't nobody was going to be able to protect him. Well, guess what? The Saints went up against arguably the best defensive player and one of the number one defensive players in Michael Parsons, 9 factors. And y'all supposed to have the best offensive line in football. I'm just getting warmed up. I'm telling y'all, boy, your boy is hot, and I'm ready to go on the NFC South Roundtable to talk as much noise. Because like I said, nobody picked the Saints to win this football game except me. And nobody expecting the New Orleans Saints to do anything. Well, guess what? Your boy had the Saints 10-7 on the NFC South Roundtable winning the division. Everybody thought I was crazy. How crazy am I looking right now? So y'all gonna hear from your boy. Now all of a sudden, y'all lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and now, Kirk Cousins ain't well. He don't look right. I ain't hear nothing about Kirk Cousins' health. I ain't hear nothing about Kirk Cousins' Achilles leading up into the season. Kirk changed. Kirk changed. Kirk changed. That's what y'all was saying, right? And we ain't got a chance. The Panthers, the Bucks, the Saints just need to go ahead and phone it in and go home. That's what I was hearing. Man, we got this division click clack on lock. That's what I heard. Now all of a sudden, like, we taking videos of Kirk Cousins limping to try to justify the fact that we would have been right if it wasn't for Kirk Cousins. Man, miss me with that noise right there. Y'all are who we thought y'all was. The Bucks and the Saints are still the class, despite the fact that this is a terrible division. Still, they still the class of the NFC South, and everybody else just trying to figure it out too. So miss me with that bull. Josh, thank you very much for the $5. Says is why I got a love for you. When you know you're wrong, you say it. Now, Carr will have 3 or 4 bad games, but his good outweighs bad. Look, like I said, I look at Derek Carr. I never said Derek Carr is the worst quarterback in the league. I did question the fact, is he the guy for the job? Looks like he's the guy for the job because the Saints have implemented the running game, put more emphasis on the running game, and they're asking him to do less. Well, lesser Carr is more, in my opinion. There's going to come a time when Derek Carr is going to have to put the team on his back to try to win a football game. He can do it. We know that he has about 33 or 34 four-quarter comebacks, so we know he's capable of doing that. But I'm not asking Derek Carr to go out there and play like Mahomes. Like, I'm looking for Mahomes to go out there and carry my team every single week. We don't need that with Derek Carr. Derek Carr threw the ball 16 times in this game, and guess what? A virtuoso. Beautiful. Beautiful performance. Beautiful performance. It's not about going out there throwing the ball 20 times. It's about what you can do with the opportunities that when they are presented to you. And what he had, 11, he went 11 to 16, 243 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. I can live with that. With a quarterback rating of 125, I can live with that. I can live with it, man. I can live with it. Shouts out to the defense stepping up today. Hit that like button if you have not already. Dietrich says it's not that we beat the Cowboys, it's how we beat them. Just bullied them all over the field. Nobody expected that, and I guarantee you, there's this old saying, you got to keep your words soft and sweet because you never know when you got to eat them. And we seen Trayvon Diggs, is that a trick question? Good player, right? And we seen from CeeDee Lamb, I go up against Trayvon Diggs every week. Well, you ain't even go up against Marshawn. You went up against Kool-Aid McKinstry, and the young man still neutralized your ass. Like I said, for the exception of that one catch that he had that Tyrann Mathieu and Paulson Adebo just kind of whiffed on the tackle, what else did he do? It's kind of like that game I mentioned at halftime. It's like with DK Metcalf when the Saints played the Seattle Seahawks. DK Metcalf had like one big play. After that, he was a non-factor, and then he left the game with an injury. So the stat line you might be like, man, CeeDee Lamb, man, he was cooking today. What, he had 4 catches for 90 yards? So you take away that 65-yard touchdown. All right, let me see. I mean, somebody do the math for me. Okay, so what's 90 plus 65? What's 90 plus 65? You know what I'm saying? 90 minus 65, I should say. You know what I'm saying? What is that? 35? So he would have about 35 yards. He would have about 35 yards in this game, and you probably could add that catch. So he would have had 4 catches for 45 yards. He was a non-factor. He had one big play. He had one big play. At the end of the day, that's it. He had one big play. Somebody said 25. I don't know, man. I'm not really that good at math. I'm sorry, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Your boy he had a C average. Everything else, A's and B's, C plus. Okay. I would thank the Lord in the math classes. 25. Thank y'all very much. So would have been a non-factor in the game, pretty much. Okay, like I said, you add like maybe those 10 yards, so I say about 35. You know what I'm saying? You say about 35. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, about a line up with like, because I want to say that pass that he caught, if he wouldn't have he just got tackled right there, probably would have been about a 10 or 15 yard gain. So at the end of the day, 25 yards right there. 25 yards, non-factor. And then on top of that, all that noise he was talking about, it wasn't even Marshawn Lattimore that locked him up. Kool-Aid did. And Will Harris almost took him out of the game with a legal hit. Like, the Saints took this game personal, man. They heard the chit chatter. They looked at some of the things that people were saying. And they came in here like Michael Jordan on The Last Dance. Took it very, very personal. Took it very, very personal. Let's see. TJ, don't go so hard on them. Going so hard on who? Don't go so hard on who? Who we don't need to go hard on? Let me see. I guess if we talk about the NFC South roundtable, absolutely not. It's been upsets. Week 2 Raiders. Shout out to Antonio Pierce. Yeah, who did the Raiders play today? Did they play the Ravens? They played the Baltimore Ravens. Wow. I mean, they beat the Ravens. Oh man, oh boy. Maybe the Cowboys won't be able to put up no point. I can tell you this right here. If the Ravens, oh my goodness, if the Ravens lost today, oh my goodness, if the Ravens lost today, man, oh man, you know they're gonna be motivated against the Cowboys. My goodness. So good luck with that. Talking about them Falcon fans, like, man, nah, bro, nah. They were so sure. They were so sure that the Saints were gonna lose this week. They were so sure they was gonna lose this week. They were so sure. TJ, we did what we did, and it will not be talked about in the morning because no one cares about the Saints. Exactly. But that's fine. That's perfectly fine. That's what you want. Don't let them talk about them. Don't talk about it. Let them lead off with this Cowboy talk. Let them lead off with the Baltimore Ravens going 0-2. Let them lead off with that. I'm cool with it. I ain't got no problem with it. I don't need Saints CNN, 24-hour news cycle, Fox News Saints. I don't need that. Like, that's fine. Let them fly under the radar. Let them say, oh man, it was more what the Cowboys didn't do, more so than what they did. Let them say that Carolina is a high school team. Let them keep on talking. And let the Saints keep on piling up victories and getting better each and every week to a point where they have no choice but to respect the effort and the hustle of the New Orleans Saints. It's just that plain and simple. I ain't got no problem with that. Let's look at some of the other scores. The Cleveland Browns knock off the Jacksonville Jaguars 18-13. So let's talk about the Cleveland Browns trying to make them boys look like they were just the worst team in football last week. They got the win over the Jacksonville Jaguars. So that pretty much tells you that, they just be trying to find ways to, try to make the Cowboys now look like something, I guess. You got the New York Jets knocking off the Tennessee Titans 24-17. You got the 49ers getting upset by the Minnesota Vikings. We know that Christian McCaffrey is on IR. 23-17, Minnesota gets the victory in Minnesota. Carolina, oh my goodness, they got some decisions they need to make at the quarterback position. The Chargers beat them 26-3. So there you go right there. Let me see what Bryce Young's stat line was. Bryce Young was 18-26, 84 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. So Bryce Young this season has 161 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He had a rushing touchdown last week against the Saints. Can you say bust? I'm sorry, man. I wanted to kind of reserve my judgment, try to get a young man a chance, but that's bust city right there, man. That is bust city right now. I'm looking forward to the game tonight, man. Houston Texans versus Chicago Bears, man. 2 young stud quarterbacks going at it. Seattle Seahawks knocking off the New England Patriots. That was a tough game. They went into overtime. You got the New York Giants losing to the Washington Commanders. So Jaden Daniels getting his first victory as the starting quarterback. Tampa knocking off Detroit in Detroit. I want to know what Amon-Ra St. Brown got to say. I mean, yeah, are you looking at your guys in the locker room now saying that y'all championship contender? Tampa Bay beat y'all 20-16. The Indianapolis Colts lose to the Green Bay Packers. So Malik Willis in his NFL debut getting the victory over, Anthony Richardson and the Indianapolis Colts in that game. So, there we go right there. So all of these teams, I can see the Saints being right there in the mix. I mean, like I mentioned, the 49ers lost today to Minnesota. Sam Darnold looks pretty good, but I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility you can't go up to Minnesota and knock off the Vikings, or if you play them, you couldn't beat them. Green Bay, I think that Jordan Love, they might try to rush him back, but he's probably going to be dealing with some issues. I think that, they're going to try to get him back in the next couple of weeks, but it's probably going to take him some time to develop. You look at the Cowboys. I mean, you just finished putting foots in them, and then you got Tampa, man, which I expected. I have respect for Tampa in this regard. It seems like they're doing things the right way. They're not sitting up here, trying to stockpile their team. It seems like they're trying to go with the guys that they actually have homegrown there. So I'm excited, about the Saints' position and where they are in the NFC South. And, I think that this team can catch fire. They've already beaten 2 NFC teams right now. If they can somehow beat the Philadelphia Eagles, they sitting really nice. They sitting really comfortably. Going down the stretch here. If you can win 3 out of your 5 or 4 out of your 5, this can be a special season, Who That Nation. It can be a special season. The NFC can run through New Orleans if they continue to play like this and win some of these games at the top of the schedule. I just don't want the Saints walking into each game with a chip on their shoulder because they're underdogs. I want them to have a chip on their shoulder because they are the best team, F the media. Well, look, I don't care where they get their emotion from. I don't care where it derives from. I don't care. As long as the end result is, performances like we seen today. I don't expect for the Saints to be putting up 40 points every single game, but I do expect for this offense and this defense to play up to the caliber of which we've seen over the last couple of weeks. Every single week is going to be a little different, and it's going to be a little bit harder because now teams are going to start really looking at you, and you're going to have their undivided attention. So you go from kind of being an afterthought going into games. Now teams are looking at you and taking you serious because you done scored 40 points over the last couple of weeks. So the Saints are probably going to get everybody's best shot. So they got to be prepared to take it. And if you are that team, if you are that squad, you're not going to make excuses. You're going to make results. Axe a Bum, thank you for the $2. Says Niners over Vikes shock me. Well, you mean Vikes over Niners shock you. So yeah, I don't know, man, because Christian McCaffrey plays such a huge role in that offense, and when you take him out of that, you're taking away a really important piece. Like, this guy scores touchdowns, account for almost 200 yards total a game. Like, it's kind of hard to replace that type of production. No disrespect to Mason. I think that he's a solid running back, but he's not Christian McCaffrey. It's not. I'm a USC fan. Sam Darnold will throw you 20 touchdowns and 20 interceptions. He can win games, but it's not constant. Yeah, I agree, but that's the reason why, you got Aaron Jones. That's the reason why you got Justin Jefferson out there. You'll have Jordan Addison in a couple of weeks after he comes back from his injury. So, they got some weapons, man. You ain't got to just do it by himself. I'm taking a few more and then we're going to go ahead and get up out of here, folks. Says, I have a theory that the 3-4 defense is better against the wide zone offense. Cards run 3-4 defense, Rams 1 wide zone. We will see. Well, I tell you what, I think that next week, the Eagles, they have some pretty fast linemen, defensive linemen. Like they are on the smaller side, so those guys are more like hybrid guys. So I expect for the Philadelphia Eagles defense to be a little bit more formidable than the Cowboys. I just think that the Cowboys, when I look at them, they kind of they remind me a lot of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, like the way their team is constructed. That's why, like I said, I felt like the Saints had a really good chance, but we're going to see, man, versus these little smaller guys that can get around some of these bigger men on the offensive line. We see if the Saints can be able to have some success. I mean, this can go two ways. This can be a way where those guys are just stifling the defense because they're so big and massive, and they're going downhill every play, knocking these guys off their spot. Or this can be a athletic display by the defense of the Philadelphia Eagles to try to crack this Clint Kubiak code, but we'll see. Josh also says, I'm so looking forward to the Denver game. I think a lot of people looking forward to that. Should be interesting, man. I bet you that the preseason discount AK offer Mickey is off the table now. That's why I said, yesterday's price is not today's price, and it shouldn't be, because you should have paid the man in the first place. I ain't scared of the Eagles. They look mid against the 0-2 Ravens. Well, I mean, they play against the Falcons on tomorrow, and I think they played the Green Bay Packers. So, I mean, that was some explosive plays, man. They ain't look like world beaters or nothing like that, but you got Saquon Barkley, you got Jalen Hurts, you got A.J. Brown, you got Devontae Smith out there, you got Dallas Goedert, man. They got some really talented players, and defensively they pretty talented too. Even though they lost Fletcher Cox on the defensive side of football, you still got Jordan Davis. You know what I'm saying? You still got like some really talented guys that are on that side of the football, no doubt about it. So, I mean, you got Jalen Carter. I can't forget about him. He could have been a Saint, but You got defensively, you got Zach Bourne out there, getting pressure on the quarterbacks. You got you got some really good defensive players, linebacker group. So, man, it should be a fun game. It should be a fun matchup for the New Orleans Saints. We'll see. But, I think that the Saints could make it interesting. TJ, we really might go 15-2. Man, slow your roll. I like the excitement, but let's pump our brakes on. Let's take it week after week, week by week here. And finally, it says, I hope we can just keep a level head and take one game at a time. Don't live off of old glory and stay focused. Yeah, I mean, it seemed like that's what they're doing. It seemed like that's what they're doing, man. It seems like what they're doing is they keeping a head down, because I was looking at like some of these interviews, man, and them dudes don't look like it looked like they barely beat Carolina. And if they can keep that mind frame like that and stay focused like that, then guess what, man? It can be a special season. Let me go ahead and read the stat line of some of the New Orleans Saints players here. Get into that. Like I mentioned, Derek Carr, 11 of 16, 243 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Alvin Kamara, 20 carries for 115 yards and 3 touchdowns. Jamal Williams, 8 carries for 39 yards. Taysom Hill had 3 carries for 18 yards. He had a 6-yard average, man. Rashid Shaheed, 3 carries for 13 yards, 4.3 as a unit. They averaged 4.9 yards a carry for 190 yards. The wide receiver room, receiving, you had Chris Olave, 4 catches for 81 yards. Rashid Shaheed, 4 catches for 96 yards. He was targeted 4 times, caught all 4 of his targets. Rashid Shaheed targeted 4 times, caught all 4 of his targets. And those were downfield targets for the most part. And Chris Olave had 6 targets. He caught 4 of his. Alvin Kamara had 2 catches for 65 yards, including a 57-yard scamper down the field for a touchdown. Taysom Hill had 1 catch for 1 yard. Hopefully Taysom Hill is okay. I know he left the game with a pectoral injury. Hopefully that's not anything significant that's going to cause him to miss a significant amount of time. Lante Taylor had 9 total tackles. Pete Warner with 8. Man, I like Pete Warner today, man. I don't know if y'all are watching, man. Pete Warner was a monster in the run game. He was out there. He was thumping. Like he was all over the field. But he had 8 tackles. He had 5 solo. Demario Davis had 8 tackles, 3 solo. He also had that pass deflection. Rico Dotto, they tried to throw him a pass on that wheel route, and Demario Davis was right there to break it up. Kool-Aid McKinstry played formidable in the absence of Marshawn Lattimore. He had 5 tackles, 1 pass deflection. Carl Granderson with 5 tackles, also had a sack and a half. He also had 1 tackle for loss. Paulson Adebo, a little bit of up and down game, but more good than bad, if you ask me. He had 4 tackles. He had 2 pass deflections. He also had an interception. Will Harris, man, this dude is out there playing otherworldly right now. He had that monster hit on CeeDee Lamb, but he had 4 tackles, 3 solo. He had 1 pass deflection. Chase Young, 4 tackles, 2 solo, a half of a sack. Tyrann Mathieu making up for, the mistake. He had 3 tackles, 3 solo. Giving it his all, man. It was clear that Tyrann Mathieu wasn't 100% healthy in this game, but he had 2 pass deflections and also an interception. Then you had Ugo Amadi with 3 tackles, Nathan Shepard with 3, Brian Brzee with 2 tackles and a sack. That was that forced fumble that they should have gotten, but it led to an Aubrey field goal. All you gotta do is fall on the ball, Chase. Come on, man. We don't need to play hero ball here. We're not down. Okay, we're not down. We don't need no special play. Just fall on the football, okay? Isaiah Foskey had 2 tackles. Cam Jordan, 1 tackle. He also had 1 solo and 1 pass deflection. JT Gray had a tackle. Cedric Wilson with a tackle. Chris Olave with a tackle. Anthony Orji with a tackle. And Isaiah Stallberg with a tackle. Those are your stats from the New Orleans Saints. I mentioned Paulson Adebo had an interception, and also Tyrann Mathieu had an interception. And Blake Rupe was 1 of 1 of field goals. He missed the extra point, man. He went 5 or 6 extra points, so we got to clean that up right there, man. It's going to come a time where we're going to need him to kick well, and he's going to have to make sure that he get that ball between the uprights. Let's see. TJ, remember that hit Will Harris put on CD? Yeah, I remember, But CD, he wasn't concerned about the Saints secondary. He goes up against guys like that every week. But my final thought is very, very simple. The Saints got momentum right now. The Saints put the NFL on notice, And now that they're on notice, they're going to be getting everybody's best shot because everybody is trying to slow down this train, right? This train right now is kind of 1800 style where they're taking a shovel and they're putting the coal into the cauldron pot and it's bubbling up and it's making this train go as fast as possible. Right now, they're trying to take that shovel out of the hands of the conductor and try to slow this train down. So every single week, you're going to be getting a team's best shot. So the Saints are going to have to be prepared. I'm very impressed with what I have seen over the last 2 weeks from the New Orleans Saints. You got to not have a pulse if you're not impressed at what you've seen from the New Orleans Saints. The haters are going to continue to hate. Let them hate. People are going to continue to not talk about the Saints. That's fine. People are going to talk about what the Cowboys didn't do more so than what the Saints did. That's fine. Just stay focused and keep your eyes on the prize and you'll be all right. All right. That's all you got to do. Keep your eyes on the prize and you will be okay. My game ball goes to, if I'm giving out a game ball, I got to give the game ball to, it'll be easy to give it to Alvin Kamara, but I got to give it to Derek Carr, man. Derek Carr, he facilitated this offense, man. He put the ball into the hands of these guys and allowed them to make plays. That 70-yard touchdown pass that he threw to Rashid Shaheed, like that was incredible right there. He made the right decisions more times than not. Even though he threw that pass and he led Chris Olave a little bit too far, you know what I'm saying? He tried to throw the ball ahead of him and he kind of forced him to pop it up with a pick. But Derek Carr, to me, I think that he really did the right things, man. He really was facilitating the ball. He really played well, man. He did his really good impression of a point guard. Alvin Kamara, it would just be too easy, right? I mean, Alvin Kamara was out there like looking like, man, this is boring type Alvin Kamara. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Like Alvin Kamara just makes it look like it's just the easiest thing in the world. Like he's not really it's like he's not really like feel like this is worth his time, like yawn, ho hum. He looked like his old self. I mean, and you can tell that this offense has got him excited. And you know, if Alvin Kamara continues to play like he has, he's gonna mess around and be the player of the year, man, the offensive player of the year. So all good things right now, man. So we switch gears. The Saints will take on the Philadelphia Eagles in the Superdome, a completely different task. You got through 2 games. This was the start of what a lot of people consider murderous row for the New Orleans Saints. So hopefully the Saints can actually get the job done and we can be right back here again saying who that loud and proud. But this has been the State of the Saints podcast. Once again, my name is Timothy J. Jones. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications, hit that like button if you enjoyed the State of the Saints podcast. You can follow me on X at TJAYJones8. Previous episodes, they are available right here on YouTube. Also, check out the Bleacher Report. I did a show on Bleacher Report. I'm going to see if I could actually put that link inside of the chat right there so you all can go back, check out that episode of the Bleacher Report that I did. It was a post-game show, kind of went in depth, with the Saints victory, some of the things that we probably didn't talk about here. Go ahead and put that link in there. Make sure you follow that channel, help that grow on Bleacher Report. I really do appreciate your time, and follow me, if I haven't mentioned already, on X at TJAYJones8. This show is brought to you by BETUS. Sign up, get up to 150% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. All you have to do is put in the promo code YouTube150. That's YouTube150. Till next time, all I got to say is, who that?
Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast.
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. It's all dog around this mug. I'm good.